Everyone, it's KIREI here for Bramble Fox, and I'm using a couple of the new sets that are available in the shop now. It's the Mountain Adventure set and the Outdoor Element set, and I'm using these with some photos from last year. It was one of my 60th birthday experiences. My husband took me to Port Lympne Hotel and Reserve, and we stayed for 2 nights in the most amazing wigwam. And I mean, it's not like a wigwam as you'd think. It was just beautiful, and we had the most beautiful views. It had like glass windows looking over all the Kent countryside, and yeah, we were in Leopard Creek, so we had the leopard behind us, we had antelopes in front of us, there was a rhino in the field across to the right. So yeah, it was brilliant. Anyway, so I have these photos here that I've been waiting to scrap. And this was one of the experiences we did. It was the Great Apes Experience. And I bought this Eco Park Animal Kingdom collection a little while back, knowing I had these photos that I'd want to scrap. So, yeah, so it was sort of perfect for that. So, it's a collection pack. So I only had the pattern papers and the element stickers. So I've pulled out a couple of the pattern papers. I've got the wood grain one, and I've just created a frame firstly, and then I've got this one here with sort of like a zoo image on it, and I'm just cutting out the circle center because it's quite a busy pattern paper, but I wanted to have some elements of that on my layout just to sort of reflect the fact that we were at effectively like a safari park reserve. So, but I didn't want to have too much of it. So I felt like a border would work really well. So, yeah, distressing all the edges, obviously. So the inside edge and the outer edges. And then I'm going to layer that on the brown wood grain frame that I've cut. And then I'm going to pack it with the white cardstock because I feel like because it's quite heavy pattern paper, having the white plain background will work really well. Oops. Typically all these things always happen in the middle of, videoing. My tape broke, so a quick fix, and there we are, back up and running. Normally it doesn't always take. That was really quick, actually. Yeah. Okay, so putting all the pieces together here. So just layering down the top piece, and then I've got white cardstock as the base. Now I probably could have just stuck it onto the white cardstock. I didn't. I just used that as a circle to cut it out, and I cut roughly out around it on the other side, and then I'm just going to add foam pad strips around the edge so that's raised and it's not completely flat. So it just gives me another level, a layer, if you like. So I'm just going to do that, and then I can effectively, that's my background done. So a little bit more work on the background because I've got a few different layers, and then I can start to work on getting my photos together and doing all the fun bits like adding the elements and yeah, all those, ephemera, etc. Okay, so I'm just sticking that. It reminds me, actually, looking at this, imagine this as a massive shaker pocket. If I did this and then added a piece of lots of bits inside it, it'd be a very cool giant shaker pocket. I might have to do that one day. I have done some large ones before. Anyway, I'm digressing. Okay, so as I said, I am using it's the Mountain Adventure set, and there's two titles in there, and it's the Call of the Wild one that I'm using, which is in like a darker green, that I'm going to use as my title. Obviously works very well with my photos. So as I said, this was the Great Apes Experience. So effectively, we got to go to the gorilla cage, and we went on the very top of the cage. So there's a little photo there on the bottom left there. It's probably hard to see. You'll see it in the close-ups and on my socials. But you walk actually on the top of the cage and then drop the greenery, the food, into the gorillas that are literally just below you. So it was very cool. So I have to say, I'm not great at heights, and I couldn't quite get onto the very top of the cage. My husband did; he was all right, but I was just at the front, at the side, so I was still there and able to still feed, but I just couldn't get right onto the very top. So yeah, chickened out on that one. So yeah, so we did the gorillas. Then we went to meet. They had two new orangutans that were that had arrived, and at Port Lympne they focus a lot on conservation and rewilding animals. So these two were new orangutans. They were in a cage, but they were waiting an outdoor enclosure that was being refurbished for them. So we got to get up close to them and see them being fed, and that was really fun too. And then we went to see the bachelor group of gorillas. So they're in an outdoor enclosure, and there were four, I think, if I remember rightly, bachelor gorillas that we went out. We got right up to the edge, and we were throwing them the food, and that was really fun to see too. So yeah, there's even in a bachelor group, we found out there's still always a dominant male, and they sort of take sort of front and center stage to make sure, I guess, to get the best, food. Anyway, that was loads of fun. So they're my photos. Right. So I've been basically adding all my just my little bits and pieces, working out my clusters and where everything's going to sit. Got the two wooden trees there. They're the pieces that I used from the outdoor elements set. So the set also includes like hiking, two hikers, some boots. There's a little fox. There's a compass, and there's some boot prints as well. So it's a mix of wooden and acrylic pieces. So really, really fun for using for sort of outdoor adventures and things like that. So yeah, I'm just using the two trees. Okay, so I've got some on the sticker sheet. I've pulled off the obviously anything to do with sort of the apes. So I've got the gorillas, I've got the little monkeys, I've got an orangutan there, and then I've just pulled out some of the word type stickers that worked best. So I've got best memories at the zoo. It's a zoo day, so fun. Let's explore, hooray, and adventure. So yeah, I've just sort of pulled all of those in. You can see I've got some red elements there that I've just got on either side. I'm playing around with those because that's so fun, doesn't stay there. Because I just want to make sure I balance each of my clusters up. So I am playing around a little bit at the moment with the pieces that I've got. So just these little word stickers here. Now, what you're noticing me probably at the side there with the stickers, I'm de-stickering them at the back. So there we go. My so fun is moving to the top because I wanted to get some red into that top cluster. So yeah, I de-sticker my stickers because I don't want to stick them flat on the layout. I just want to curve the edges and add a bit of glue, or I might want to raise them up on foam pads. So yeah. Okay, so now I'm just getting all my bits and pieces stuck down, all my little clusters, raising some of the elements up on the foam pads. Again, this is all about just getting a bit of extra dimension and layering into my layout. Okay, and then I just felt like I needed to add something a little bit more. So there was a few like little leafy stickers. So I'm adding just a few of those into each of my clusters, just around the sides there. They're only teeny tiny. So yeah. And then I am getting to almost to the end. I will, as always, add some journaling, which will sit below my title. And then you can see me there. I'm running out the powder in my brush there which I use for de-stickering. So it's just got like talcum powder in it, but I'm running out a little bit. So I'm actually trying to de-sticker them on my hand there. So because yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I think I'm the last few I'm adding. Yeah, just tucking those in the top. And then I've got a couple of tiny little ones that also go in the top as well. And then I think I'm just going to finish off. I've got some enamel dots just in coordinating colours, and I'm just going to add some little clusters of 3 to my embellishment clusters. So yeah. And then I'm done. My journaling I will add off camera because I have to think about it, and yeah, I'll do that. But yes, I think the final images are coming up in just a moment. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video and you get some inspiration for using these brand new sets on one of your layouts soon. So thank you so much for watching. Here are the close-up details, and I will see you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye for now.